die?
And find something you're passionate about besides Ziggy.
Hey guys, thanks for being in the chat waiting. Yeah, sorry, I was looking at a text. Yeah, just get here when you can. It's fine. Hey, K-Love and Breeze. Lana, Fonda, Sherry. So we don't have hot linking. You're welcome, Lizzie. And yay, little Annie says is a new member. And then she says, I received my items from you today. Everything in perfect condition. Thank you for the great tips. Yes, you're welcome. And tomorrow I'm having another sale, and it's going to be a mixture of items. So, like, it's going to be some makeup, just stuff I have here. And it's going to be formal wear, heels, and I still have a bunch more to... Gosh, I don't even feel like I'm going to be ready in time, but we'll see. I should have got more done today than I did, to be honest. I got kind of, first of all, it started out as a wonky day because I got up like really early and I couldn't go back to sleep. And for some reason, I was just like overwhelmed with like sadness for some reason. And I couldn't figure exactly like the reason, you know what I mean? So it just kind of started out like kind of crappy and I couldn't go to sleep. I hate having to go back to sleep during the day, but I ended up having to take a nap. And looks like I'm probably going to screw up my schedule again. But I also, and just so everybody knows, I did put on the community wall the link to that sale tomorrow. Hey, Quinny. Like, you can get some really good deals, and it gives me, and it helps me like clear out some of the stuff so I can get, maybe some new stuff in. So hey, Sheba. I haven't been able to watch much of YouTube except what I've been hearing in the background, I guess, a little bit. I watched a little bit of Circle Jerks and a little bit of was listening in on Purple. I guess she didn't lose her channel or whatever because there's that whole loophole. And I don't understand how they decide who gets to utilize that and who doesn't. Because, like, sometimes they don't even give you that option. But sorry, I'm looking at my daughter, seeing what she's doing. But it gives some people the ability to threaten, say they will take the person to court, okay? Like, Athena. I'm distracted by my daughter and and dog. Hi, Becca. Hey, Tits McGee. Oh, that's funny.
Whoa, what is this?
Shh. Sorry, guys, I had to mute real quick. That's what I was. My daughter's being. She likes attention when I'm giving somebody. She gets jealous that I give you guys attention, so that's when she always wants attention. You know how it goes. It's okay though. JTR. JTR is. I don't have anything to watch out about her with her. She's laughable and pathetic. I don't even know what. I really seriously don't even understand her like hang up with me at all. It doesn't make sense to that extent, like that she's taking it. Okay, she thinks I'm dumb. Okay, how long can you talk about that? I mean, every time I have a sale or whatever, even on a different platform, she's making accounts and showing up, and it's so strange to me. I don't get it. I guess I don't understand the fascination like with me at all. It's so weird to me. Sorry. Because I mean, all we're doing is having a normal sale on a app that's, you know, what it's. And here somebody comes from YouTube to try to take flips, you know, to, I mean, as a 50-year-old, however old she is, almost 50-year-old woman, I think. Wait, who said that purple gets a... That's why I didn't understand people, you know, going on her panel, because she is so, it's so clear to me what she's doing. But whatever. So Danny L is supposed to come up here at some point. And I think we're just gonna, I don't know what we're gonna talk about. I don't really have any plans. So I guess we'll just see where our conversation takes us, like always. Yeah, Purple didn't lose her channel, I guess. She has to, unless Tabby files a civil suit. But the thing is with that, I would say just go file it, or you can file it at home on your computer. But the thing is, like, it costs like, what, $150 or something to file a civil lawsuit or whatever. probably going to be more than that. I think actually those copyright ones are even more expensive. She's making fun of somebody's house being damaged. No, what I mean by saying a 50-year-old woman is like, I don't mean it like old. I mean it like, I say that sometimes like 40-year-old woman, like myself, 41-year-old woman. What I mean by it is like, you would think that she would know better. You know what I mean? Like I sometimes give people kind of leeway and stuff when they're a little bit younger, but once you start getting like, 40, 50, 35, I mean, come on. So, no, I didn't watch. I did see that they did do a live. How did it go?
Light on what may have happened?
From my opinion as retired investigator, they would be, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And in terms of the parents and their past, that has also been something that is much talked about. Candace filed for an order of protection against her husband, Don, saying that she was afraid of being hurt. She was afraid for those kids. That was likely part of why they were removed from the home. How do investigators take that information and also anything the kids might know and try to piece this puzzle together?
Yeah, Marty, that's a great question. So, with a 5-year-old child, obviously time is of the essence. So the first officer on the scene quickly wants to assess, who had last contact, what were those conditions in relation.
Use triangulation to identify where you are based on your towers. So if there's only one tower, there's going to be a really large radius of area that they don't have a way of triangulating where that cell phone actually was, if that's what you're asking.
Sure. No, and I think it bleeds off from last case, right? Where you've been very careful to say what the cell carriers have is very different than what Apple and Google have, right?
Correct.
But in terms of an investigation, when you're playing the game of something doesn't belong here, would a cell phone tower dump tell you that? So if Peter West typically resided in California and one day popped up on a cell phone tower dump in Rogersville, Tennessee, and then shot off the map, does that tell investigators anything? Is there any type of business intelligence that you can think of that would help investigators with that amount of log? And that, because it's a massive amount of data, right? What we're talking about.
Yeah, it is a massive amount of data, and I can't say that I can't speak to whether or not how they analyze that data. It's more of what type of data they could have, right? And so the answer is if a cell tower
is safe for human consumption.
Don't buy a product at, a gas station, because there could be.
That is correct. So it's similar but different. I read too much about this when I was looking for that clip. So the problem with it is that the way that it's manufactured is they use a lot of chemicals that aren't regulated. So yeah, it's essentially it's from the same plant, and it's just like smoking marijuana, but the additives and the chemicals that they use to extract it is what people will have a hard time with. I actually personally had a bad experience with it, and gave me panic attacks, really bad. But
I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah. I really feel it's my
mean and what is it? It's disgusting though, right? It looks like fur peach or something on their toes.
In the holler, you just gotta go down to the holler, and so it's nothing new to us. But I could. That's funny watching everybody. So where was that? Would you say Connecticut?
I'm from Connecticut, but I was asking folks in Florida, and Florida, as you know, is flat as hell, and so nobody knows what a holler is.
Yeah, that's funny.
We're gonna get into some real casework. The humor's done, the tech conversation is done, although that's a piece of the case.
There's campers.
There's a lot of people.
They're looking at the cars at the stables over there.
That was where we found it was like 100 people with
Yeah.
So where Summer was swimming at last?
Yeah. And that's actually at the horse stables.
Yep.
We're trying to pull the cameras from the car wash to see if during increments during that pathway, if there was somebody following you or killing you.
Yeah.
That's really the only.
Yeah, because Walgreens,
Well, we had, there was a lot of drug traffic at that time.
There still is,
Yeah, I haven't noticed anything. But
I have last night about 2 o'clock. There was a lot of people in and out of Beach Creek.
what about down Ben Hill Road?
It was in and out, loud cars, loud trucks.
So is it neighbors who? It's everywhere.
Our neighbors.
Our neighbors way back in the holler.
So that's the one that's behind you.
Right? Well, if you come in Ben,
Where's this interview from? I don't remember ever hearing this before. It sounds like interesting, but they're sitting here talking this.
But my first sense was that you guys were followed back that day and we tried pulling up the cameras from the car wash, Walgreens, when I first got here. So I think that's still my presumption, right? Because you have when you enter a case like this, everyone's like, okay, the parents. But when we looked and analyzed videos, no, I know. I'm sorry.
This is not your fault. I'm not mad at baby. Come here. That's my husband. This is Donnie. Baby, this is the gentleman. This is Nerdy Addict on Twitter that was droning our house.
I just came to say sorry. My intent is not to give you guys anything. My intent is to find Summer.
Yeah.
And that's what I've done in the past. So we were actually coming up to Warrior State Park and we wanted to see the church because I like to visualize everything. And I was asking her about what's the lady's name? Robin Lane.
Yeah.
Because she has a red Tacoma that's in her name. That's at every one of her properties. So that's why I don't ask. Yeah.
She is really a good person. But if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be getting my teeth done.
I am also an addict, and so I feel for you. And I know from a personal level, when my friend died, I hit the bottle hard. So I want you to know that I'm not attacking you guys at all. I'm here to help. That's all I want. I don't drive 11 hours to bother people. Just
So you're Nerdy Addict?
I'm Nerdy Addict.
Yeah. On Twitter, baby.
This is Nicole. I started this when I got sober.
Yeah.
Her brother went missing for 3 months in Midtown New York, and I stayed there for 3 months until I found him, and then started doing teenagers.
You're welcome. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you're
Can we come up and walk and
I appreciate that because I want to visualize it and see the wooded area that you showed on your.
As long as there's no
hate.
There's no hate at all. I have 2 kids of my own. This is not about hate. This is I don't drive 11 hours 2 times to come up here for hate. I'm coming here to try to find what happened this summer.
Right. Well, we're 100% that she was abducted.
That's what I'm. Yeah. Do you think law enforcement could be involved at all?
Them thoughts,
Them thoughts cross my mind all the time.
Yeah, but I don't think so.
All the time. I don't know.
We don't know who took Summer.
But
honestly,
I do know who the red truck
idea.
belongs to.
Do you believe your neighbor that they heard a scream?
Jody Sue's mother has a red truck.
Jody Sue's mother. So this is the neighbor that disappeared.
You do believe her?
I don't know anything. I don't know what to think about her whatsoever. She's
a flip flopper.
She don't know.
I mean, one minute she's all for the family, and the next minute she's, oh, then some bitches did something, you know? So, you know.
I think people just get frustrated. And you guys are going to be the most frustrated because it's your daughter. But people are, I think, frustrated. But her initial statement that I saw was that she heard a scream.
Yeah.
Then you have Lawson saying he didn't. It's unfounded. So it's like,
Me
what
and
the
her
fuck do you
have
believe?
got to quit drinking, Candace.
Yes, baby,
We
I
gotta
know.
get together.
I can't help it.
I'm sure you've seen all the videos.
It's not easy when there's something
Last night we drank last night. I don't know.
I went on a bunch of lives last night, drunker than hell, and it's not good.
I've been there. I'm going on 2
I'm only
years sober,
16
but
days
trust me, I
sober,
fucked
so-
up a lot, man. I brought it to my own.
Congratulations, 6 days.
16
I'm still working on it, but
Yeah.
I
do it
like
unless I'm
do
sober.
3 days, and then I'm like, I gotta have something.
Well, that was
to
me in the
drink.
beginning. It was like I'd make it 3 days. Then every time I'd make it to the 4th day.
Yeah.
See how this guy, I haven't oh, what happened on Zavs? Night after they were on MGL. Okay, so you notice how he's relating. Oh wait. What the heck? Thank you, Colby, for what the heck? I'm really confused by this. Thank you, Colby, for the PayPal. I'm confused by your message though. Well, I don't understand why it says like your real name above it. And I'm really confused. It says my ex's name. Are you freaking my ex? It's so weird. You have the same name as him. All right, Danny. But thank you for the Cashapp. That just threw me off a little bit. Okay, let's continue listening to this because I'm waiting on her, and I don't know if I've heard this. I wonder when did he say when this was? I wonder when he talked to him.
It's tough. Well, I don't know. There's no excuse.
Are we going to the big church or what?
I don't know. I don't even know if I want to.
I'm so
We're gonna-
frustrated. I just want to go home.
We're gonna go to Warriors State Park again. I told her my sense originally when I came out here was that potentially somebody's followed from over there. It's a good space to. I mean, there's campers. You
There's
have
a
the
lot of
stables.
people
I've been
over
looking
there.
at the cars
Yep.
at the stables over there.
That
A lot
was
of
where we
people
found
over
it was like 100 people with that.
Yeah.
So where Summer was swimming at last?
Yeah. And that's actually at the horse stables.
Yep.
We're trying to pull the cameras from the car wash to see if during increments during that pathway, if there was somebody following you or telling you.
Yeah.
That's really the only.
Yeah, because Walgreens, I'm sorry,
Well, we had, there was a lot of drug traffic at that time.
There still is, though.
Yeah, I haven't noticed anything, but
I have last night about 2 o'clock. There was a lot of people in and out of Beach Creek.
what about down Ben Hill Road?
It was in and out, loud cars, loud trucks.
So is it neighbors who? It's everywhere.
Our neighbors.
Our neighbors way back in the holler.
So that's the one that's behind you. Right,
Well,
there's
if you
a
come
bunch
in
of cars on the
Ben Hill and go that way, it's all the way back in the back.
Okay.
Well, what do you want to do, baby?
I don't know. We got to work on this alcohol problem.
I know. Yes, I know.
But we won't get our
beat
kids
myself
back.
up.
That's a big
I
problem.
Why do you think
Especially
I've been
going live.
Why do you think I've been out here crying? And then they knocked on the window, so I answered.
I was like, we were coming out. I'm like, I think that's Candace. You don't mind knocking?
I just gotta say,
No,
I
it's all right.
respect so much because of your approach. I didn't know that about you, but that's awesome, dude. That's kind of the same boat that I come from, is what you were explaining. But that people need.
But that's how what I was gonna say is how this guy related to Candace and Dawn. That's the perfect way to go up to somebody and try to talk to them. Is relate to them. That's how you get people to open up. People have always said that I'm super easy to talk to or whatever, and understanding. I think it's just because my life experience, I've been humbled and been there, done that. So I feel like I've a lot of times can relate to people's situations because I've been there before. Yeah, they were saying something about Fred, well, they were actually talking about Jody Sue, weren't they? Do you want me to ask your question for everybody? I see your Instagram, so that's why I'm confused. I mean, your last name is very common, so I mean, it's very possible you're not. It's just so strange that I pull up this PayPal and it has from, so and so, and it's my ex's name. Hey, thanks for coming up.
Hi, how are you?
He has a question though. He put it in the PayPal. He says, "All right, ladies, I have a question, and I know this is super off topic, but my girlfriend doesn't have any lingerie, and I really want her to get some. How do I bring this up? Why don't you get her some? That's the easiest thing to do."
Who are you talking about?
Colby.
Who's that? Oh, someone in the chat?
Yeah, sorry, I took a... Yeah.
No, I wasn't listening for a second because I was like trying to adjust my settings and all that stuff. So I have no idea what's going on.
No, yeah, it's somebody that just PayPal'd me. And they put a question in the PayPal that he wanted to ask the ladies. And he put in the PayPal that his girlfriend doesn't have any lingerie and he really wants her to get some. So how does she bring this up? Or how does he bring this up?
Yeah, just buy something that you would want to see her in.
Yeah, yeah, you'll have to guess on the size, but go buy
Yeah, the lingerie is easy because it has like small, medium, large, you know, so it should be fairly easy to guess.
I'm sorry, next topic, he says. Why? You're going to leave now. Why? Oh, it's that easy, he said?
Yeah.
I mean,
I would suggest crotchless because, you know, that's the easiest if we're going for easy, but
hey, nothing kills the mood more than having to take off your underwear.
Exactly, especially because a lot of times it comes with like, you know, garters and like thigh highs and, you know, different things where it's like a pain to get it off anyways. So yeah.
She had some great advice. So good thing she's up here.
Yeah.
No,
that's what I would prefer.
Said, oh, AB, he put in my chat, like when I was live one time on Whatnot doing my sale, he said, do you have any crotchless underwear? I've never actually had any, so myself, but he goes crotchless. I'll look into that.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I used to be scared of the idea, but as soon as I tried it, I was like, okay, I need to figure out how to incorporate this with all of my lingerie because it makes it so much easier.
She's like 5'4". Yeah, I can. If you don't have to tell her everything about her on here, or if you don't want, you can email it and I could tell you probably a size. Oh, you'll have to tell me like her boob size, I guess.
Well, I would say if it's a gift that he should not buy something with underwire because then you actually have to know the exact size. Just buy something that doesn't require that so that it could just be small, medium, large, extra large, you know.
Yeah, but
that's why you just go with like one of those like one size like fishnet dresses or something. Like those are really cool too because they look good on like everyone. You know what I'm talking about, Ziggy? The little like the ones that are like kind of tube top and they just go and they like barely cover your ass and then it's just all fishnet, like a little dress.
Yeah.
Yeah, those look good on everyone.
I think that, yeah, I don't know about taking her Victoria's Secret. Some Victoria's Secrets don't even really have lingerie. I mean, as far as, not like Fredericks or something like, some Victoria's Secrets just has like pink clothing and underwear.
Yeah.
They don't have like really like sexy stuff, I don't think. I mean, and it's probably, oh gosh, that stuff's expensive anyways.
No, dude, you know where I found so much of my lingerie is like Ross or Burlington. I'm just saying, like, and it's a good price. Like, and they always have like random things in different sizes. So
she just put the Lady CGS put the link for Victoria's Secret. I wonder if that was a real question, like if he was serious or.
Well, I don't know, but if not, a bunch of people got some really good lingerie tips.
Last day of the month tomorrow, so super busy. I'll catch. Oh, is there only 30 days this month? Is it 3 or 31?
I don't know. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You feel weird. I'm telling her to wear it. I don't want her to make. Oh,
How long have y'all been together?
I see what you mean. And you look pretty young from your picture too. I mean, I see what you're saying. Because but it sounds like you guys have already like hooked up, so I don't know. I can't wait to see my girl in lingerie.
I feel like Gemini guy has already seen his girl in lingerie multiple times.
I don't know. You know what? Like a lot of guys aren't even really into that stuff. I mean,
Jennifer, we don't know. We don't have a topic. We're just talking about whatever.
Yeah. We've been dating about 9 months. Oh gosh, that should be long enough that you shouldn't feel. You still feel uncomfortable with that kind of stuff. I don't know how old. I'm trying to decide from his picture.
Yeah, a cute baby doll. Baby dolls are cute. Yeah, I like those too. Marlene is correct. And the baby dolls like go out at the bottom, so I don't know what her size is, but if she feels a little bit unconscious about her body or whatever, then it's something that would be a little bit loose, you know?
She's in his picture on Instagram and she looks small. She's probably a size small.
Yeah, but she still might be a little bit self-conscious. So
I mean,
a baby doll's good advice.
Right. No, right. No, but I'm just saying like a size, like what size, but I can't really see her, so we came back late. Yeah, we're talking about some interesting topics right now. But you know, if you need a formal dress for her, I'll be tomorrow. I'm having a sale, and you should get her some a nice dress for take her to a nice restaurant or something.
Yes, buy formal wear from Ziggy tomorrow. That's funny.
Yeah, take her to a place you have to like really get dressed up. Like, man, it's been. I'm trying to think. Like, when's the last time I did something like that?
What, like go out somewhere nice?
Like where you have to actually get dressed up, like really dressed up to go to.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've done that since I went to raves back in the day. But I mean, that's a whole different kind of getting dressed up, you know, but still.
Yeah, the sale is at 6:30 Eastern time. It did really well last time at that time on last Friday, so we're gonna go with it. But anyways, so I'm trying to think what else what else is going on in the? Did you watch this Summer Wells live with Nerdy Attic?
No.
I didn't even know he was around anymore. I do remember him having some kind of drama with and doing some kind of drone stuff. But yeah, I haven't seen him around for a while. What else is going on YouTube? The purple situation.
Oh God, I was watching a little bit of that earlier. It was so cringe. Like, oh, I don't even know. I don't want to talk about anybody's personal situations, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I was like, it just made me, I'll put it like this. It made me think about like to the future that I don't want to be that mom to my kid. Like, that's all I know. Did you see what I'm talking about?
I was listening in a little bit, but I know she's like, I don't know. She's sitting there. People take this whole YouTube thing too serious, and sitting there threatening. They're threatening each other back and forth. It's all just really silly stuff. And now Purple's rubbing it in Tabby's face that her channel is actually not going to be gone because Tabby has to take her to court.
Why was it going to be gone?
Because of this, she had 3 strikes, but for some reason, like sometimes they let you say you're allowed to say I don't know how it works, like only sometimes, like because I didn't get that option when Purple struck me. I've been struck twice, and one time was Purple. And Purple really has no room to talk because she is, would brag about, striking people and being the striking queen. So really, I mean, if we're being honest, she kind of deserves it. But anyways, I guess Tabby now has to file a copyright lawsuit in order within 10 days for one of the strikes to be effective. And I don't know how they decide or when somebody gets that option, but I don't remember being given that option.
Yeah, that's why I don't know. I've only had one person try to copyright strike me, which was Doug, but they just sent me an email saying that that it was attempted, and it showed me all of the like dialogue that he had with them, but they told me that they were not going to be removing it because it was under fair use. So I don't know what happens when you actually violate fair use, like how that works, but
yeah, I don't know, but I've never got that option. I don't remember ever getting that option on my strike from BK and my strike from Purple. The one from Purple, I just kind of, it's like I didn't even care about because it was on my backup channel, except the fact that I couldn't get it monetized, and I stopped focusing on it because there was a strike on it. But before they both lose their channel. Yeah, I don't know. It's silly. It really is, in my opinion, because I mean, there's bigger things in life to worry about than, I don't know. It just, she sounds so hateful when I go in there and listen. Like, these people make this or act so like it's so serious, like, oh my gosh, this is YouTube, people, seriously.
Well, what I found crazy was like she was kind of just sitting back and like letting other people like be totally cringe, and I was like, what are you doing? Like
I don't know.
And then she's got an attitude all of a sudden, like a huge attitude, and I'm like, why is she being like that? I don't know.
It's like a lecture all the time. No, when you go and listen, she has this like tone of voice, like
Yeah,
where
that's
she's
what I'm
trying to sound
talking
all
about.
scary
Yeah.
and hateful and stuff, kind of like a 6-Up type, but not as 6-Up sounds scarier because she's just, I don't know, she just has it like that, I guess. But Purple really has almost like seemed to take tips off of 6-Up, and I think she knows. I mean, you can't sit there and make your channel all about, bringing. They're constantly posting pictures of each other and, one-upping each other, and it's about time that it ends.
Sometimes I watch like these drama channels and I feel like they have an agreement to do this kind of stuff because
Yep.
it almost seems like just really bad acting.
Yep. That's how I felt. I swear to God, I felt that way when Purple was coming after me. It did not even feel real. I'm like, seriously, I felt like she was like completely just faking her anger towards me.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's like I
didn't
wish somebody
understand.
would let me know that I'm supposed to be a crisis actor too, so that I cannot get my emotions involved. But like to me, it seems like it's real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'd be nice because I mean, man, that stuff used to really affect me. I mean, and I'm getting better at dealing with it. I think it's just, I don't know. People say like, Jenny Penny was saying, "Oh, you're just so strong. I don't know how you can handle it." And it's not something that you develop overnight. It's something that over time you're able to learn how to. You learn how to cope. You have to.
Well, yeah, because especially once you get doxxed or something, it's like at first, the first couple days after it happens, or anytime somebody mentions it or something, it's just like, oh my God, and you have like such anxiety. But then after you accept the fact that it happened, it's like, okay, well, I can't do anything about it. So what am I going to do? Like, and you just kind of just move on,
Yeah. I mean, nobody would watch Purple if she wasn't acting like a psycho. People mainly. Yeah, she'll be back, and she said, she's gonna come up on these. I mean, Benny's always came back. Benny's not supposed to really technically be on YouTube. People forget that, but nobody cares. I mean, that's the thing with nobody's gonna care with Purple either, except the fact that I'm sure it sucks losing your monetized channel. And I heard her saying something like she has 8 mouths to feed on what she makes or something. But at the same time says that the most she's ever made on YouTube was 300 in a month. Like, how does she feed that many people for 300?
I thought that her husband worked for like the alphabet soup agencies or something.
I thought it was like yeah, I don't know.
I mean, shouldn't that pay really well? I would think,
I mean, at least really good insurance and
yeah. Just saying.
You miss Hakuna Matata. I know. I don't know. She hasn't been around a lot lately. Barney going through midlife crisis. Most of the kids are working. Oh, really? How old? Oh, that's right. They were all. That's another point too. You're right. I think all but 2 are grown or something. But anyways, I'm not like, I don't like to kick people when they're down and stuff like that. Or have a party. Like when 6-Up always thought that's what it was about too, like winning and losing. And it's just, that's not what it is. It shouldn't be about that, but it does seem like it's about that to most of these people.
Yeah, it's like everybody can have their place. Like, Why does it have to be a competition?
I don't know, because it gets views, I guess. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Yeah,
I think it is true that some of these people like manufacture fake drama behind the scenes. Like now there's this rumor going around that Frosty and Purple, like that whole situation's supposedly fake, that they're actually, really friends, but they're just pretending not to be so that Frosty can get in good with, people like me. She's been
kind of
trying
like Ernie Shell and all his people that started channels after him. Like it started out that they were not friends, but then they end up making up and they're like buddy and
yeah, I don't I can't keep up. I can't keep up. The Stan too. I haven't been able to watch him. Like you mentioned Ernie, so that just makes me think.
Well, that's what I was talking about was Jimbo. Like Jimbo started a whole
keep
channel, and then they're friends now. It's like what,
Are they friends now? I thought that they aren't friends again. I
don't know.
Something just happened. Like I can't keep up. And Jimbo says that from what I can tell, it's like he knows that Ernie is this way and stuff, but I guess he looks at Ernie as family or something, and so it's hard for him to, not
Jimbo
help him
has
out.
no room. He has no room to criticize anybody when he married a 12-year-old when he was 17. I'm sorry, but no. Like he's worse to me. Yes, and there's proof of it. Like it's been proven. The receipts have been shown. When he was 17, he was married to a 12-year-old. That's the problem. Like you should know better at 17, whether you're fully 18 or not. Like that's still that does not fly. And it's like, so, he really has no room to criticize Ernie or anybody else.
Wow, I didn't know that they got married that young. I did hear rumors about something like that happening, and I thought he showed something where it showed that she's actually just like a couple years younger than him. I don't know. I'm sure I can find out or whatever, but
no, that's a real thing. Like his wife now, she's a couple years younger, which he was I think 19. Yeah, the other girl, no, she was 12 when they got married. Which is like, whose mom even would sign off on that? Like that's crazy.
I know, but I've heard of stuff like that happening, and it's happened to some people like in this chat. I'm not because I've talked to people privately as far as like, people's parents like signing over, for an older man to marry their daughter at, it's so weird. Because that is strange to me because he was he's a kid at 17, but he's about to be 18 and she's going to be 13. That if that's true, that's not okay. And it sounds to me, I don't know if that was a whole religion thing too, but a lot of times it is like, it does have to do with religion or whatever, because some people believe Mary was 13 when she had Jesus. So, that's kind of how they.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's how they make, he did marry a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
Took her a minute.
Like that's a thing within like Christian religions. Like I would think, like Muslims or something maybe, but I didn't know that about like Christians like in the United States, like that's a thing.
Yeah. Let's see. I think some of the I know they always get a bad rap, but it doesn't some of the LDS church like let the girls marry young. That might just be the fundamentalists, the ones that I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know it was officially though. Like I just thought it, that they were all like sister wives or whatever they do over there, but I don't really know a whole lot about like the specific denominations.
Laws need to change. Like all I know is that I was talking to one person who was telling me, like, yeah, she was married off young, and her parent, and she didn't have any say in it, and she didn't even know the guy, didn't understand even really what sex was.
Oh wow.
And did not realize what she was going to be expected to do as a wife with this older guy, you know what I mean? And she wasn't even prepped for it at all. And at 15, and he was 20, early 20s or something. But like, I don't know, something needs to be done. If this stuff is happening still in our country where parents are signing for their young daughters to get married, there needs to be some other type of something in place, like where they're talking to the kid privately or whatever, if to make sure. I mean, I don't know. Something needs
Yeah,
to
because
change.
that's almost like trafficking. Like, what if the parents are getting paid or something to sign off their daughter? And it's like, you know, that's like the same thing as human trafficking, I would think.
Yeah. Yeah, there was I don't know if it's, I mean, the person I was talking to, she's, I think she's probably a little bit younger than me. So this would have been probably over 20 years ago, I would think, but.
Yeah, I think now the youngest age of consent is like 16, but even that, I don't know.
Yeah, and I guess they allow parent signature at what, 15 or something, and I don't know. I think it's crazy that any parent will want their kid to get married so young, but I mean, I guess I do understand that some people's religions, like, they believe what they believe, but paying a dowry for a bride is common in have a mini-me BFF. Are you talking about your daughter? Sounds kind of like my daughter. That's how she looks at me instead of. I know.
Yeah, Roswell, I know my son's 14 and I couldn't even imagine. Like, he barely just like got his first phone number from a girl, like when he first started high school. I'm just like, I couldn't even imagine him being married. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, I know. My daughter's 14 now. Like, she'll be, you know what I mean? She'll be 15 in not that long. Like, I can't believe. No.
Yeah, could you imagine if she was married 2 years ago? Like, that's crazy.
No. And having, oh my gosh, having babies. Wow. Hey, Rowena. Let's see. What else is there to talk about? Last time we talked about astrology. We always get into a lot of conversations about astrology. We talked about signs. You're a Leo. I'm a Pisces.
Yes.
I think you said is your boyfriend a Scorpio?
No, he's a Gemini.
That's right.
I'm Scorpio rising. And then I have Libra moon and Venus. So yeah, but that's probably where you got the Scorpio thing from, because that's my rising sign.
Yeah. I was doing me and my boyfriend's charts, okay? Like the whole love chart thing. And in his chart, he's technically, his sun sign is technically a Capricorn, but he has like, and you'll know what it means because I don't understand, but in like 5 of his houses, I guess you would say, right? 5 of his little images have
his planets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have Virgo. So that would mean he's probably takes on more traits of a Virgo, right?
Yeah.
Even though his sun sign is Capricorn.
Yeah, but see, also Virgo is another earth sign, so it's going to overlap with Capricorn in certain ways anyways, because it's still earth energy. But yeah, so he's going to probably have a little bit more Virgo qualities, which I would say actually for a Capricorn might be good, because Virgo's a mutable sign, so that might make him a little bit more easygoing. But yeah, because Capricorns are kind of like total dicks sometimes.
Yeah.
Like they have certain things that are, well, I mean, Virgos can be like that too, where certain things are like their way, but I would say that a Virgo's probably a little bit more flexible.
I mean, he's not a dick, but you can take him like that. Like, you know what I mean? It can seem like he's being a dick, but he doesn't mean it like that. He's just, I mean, I don't know. It's crazy because it's not how in high school, I always remember him as like just goofy and funny, you know, but he's not really like that anymore. He is more serious, like, but yeah, he can come off like he can be very blunt.
Does he have like little OCD things that he does that like where he has to have like the blankets a certain way or like anything like that?
He's just very much a planner. Like he has to plan things. Like everything's plan. And it's like, which is crazy because I'm not. I'm very spontaneous.
That sounds exactly like me and my boyfriend. Like he's always like,
it's annoying.
He'll be like, next Sunday, do you want to go here? And I'm like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing in 3 hours. Like, how do I know next Sunday what I want to do?
That's gonna be it's gonna be like really one of the biggest obstacles, I think, because and then maybe it would be good for me to be a little bit more, you know, not so like carefree, you know. So I don't know, it could be a good thing, but he doesn't. It's so weird because in order to like it's not like, hey, do you want to hang out tonight? You know, like that's how it's been with any other guy I've dated in my past. It's like, hey, you want to hang out tonight? You don't sit there. I don't know. He has to like plan it out. Like, oh, we're gonna be, you know what I mean? Like, and almost
like at this time we're gonna go to this place, and then we're gonna watch the sunset, and then we're gonna leave at this time, and then we're gonna do this. That's how Chris is too.
I don't understand that.
I'm like, dude, the second that you start telling me the rundown of like the outline on how it's gonna go down, like I all of a sudden freeze up. And it's like, you can guarantee I'm going to be 3 hours later than I already was going to be, just because we had this conversation. Because now I have anxiety that I'm not going to be ready on time. And that's a whole problem.
Oh, yeah. What house is? Well, his birthday is December 24th, 79. He was born at 4:10 a.m. And in mid
you said December 24th?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see.
Yeah, December 24th. And I think that puts him like right on the cusp, doesn't it?
Yeah, so he's almost Sagittarius too, which is another mutable sign.
Yeah, see, which is so, yeah, he's very much a planner. It's weird to me because Virgos, I was saying, when I saw all those Virgos in his chart, I was thinking, okay, well, maybe he's not so much Capricorn. But then when I was looking at Virgo traits, and I'm like, oh my God, he's both of them. Like, this is all him, both like Virgos. And when I was reading everything about Virgos, I was like, that sounds like him too. You know what I mean? So it was weird because I don't feel like many signs, you know, Pisces are supposed to be, I'm a Pisces. Pisces are supposed to be like all 12 signs together. They're supposed to be the wisest, supposedly. They're the last on this in the cycle. But
Where was he born?
Near Indianapolis. Oh, like I mean, it's actually he says Danville, but I guess it. I sit here trying to think if I should put it out, but I guess it doesn't really matter, does it?
No, it'll be the same either way. Let me see.
Well, I mean, I just didn't want to see, like, I put so much of my personal stuff out there, like, I don't care, and so usually I don't think about that stuff, you know?
Ooh, he's a Scorpio rising like me.
Oh no, what's that mean?
It just means that, well, do you perceive him as like secretive or like reserved, like he's hard to kind of get to know, like
yeah,
even though he probably doesn't feel that way. Yeah, he probably has no idea that he's putting that energy out there. Like, it's taken me so many years to realize that people think this about me, because I'm like, dude, you could ask me anything and I'll tell you, like, I'm an open book. But when it comes down to it, I've realized, like, I really am kind of reserved and private, and like I'm very picky about the information that I do share and the way that I want to share it. Like, I don't like when other people go around and just like blab my business all over. Like, I have no problem telling people, but I want to do it in my way, you know? Like, so there's just certain things like that. Like, there's also like a certain magnetism to Scorpio, where you're like, you just want to know more. And there's usually like, they say that there's a thing with like the eyes, that there's something deeper within the eyes that you just can't quite figure out. Like, there's some kind of mystery within the person.
I mean, that's one of he's very reserved. Yeah. Romeo says, oh no, what's that mean? I know, right? Well, I don't know. I've been putting you guys like mystical. I was telling Danny a little bit about it in text. She's really the only person I've been able to talk too much about it. But I can't talk too much about it on here because it has to do with like really personal stuff that I don't want to put out, like his business and stuff. You know, like I don't care about mine being out there, but I have to, you know, be respectful of him too, because he's so much more. You guys, I've never. One thing I told Danny is that I've never dated a guy like more passive than me, and I almost feel like he's more passive than I am, which is strange. It's like it's different for sure. And I don't know. It's just like you were saying, like he can seem like kind of in his own world sometimes.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at this Virgo stellium that he has. He's got. Let me.
Stellium, does that mean 5?
Well, that's 3 or more planets in the same house, but that's what I'm looking at, because he doesn't actually have, like, his Saturn is in the 11th house, but Mars and Jupiter are in the 10th house. But he also has his North Node in Virgo in the 10th house. So that would still be a stellium. The 10th house is the house of like career and like the public persona that you put out there into the world for people to view you as. So like that's if that's Virgo, he's gonna want that to be like very
work's very important to him. Definitely.
Yeah, work would be very important. Also, like his mind, like thinking, like planning, that whole strategizing, everything that you were saying, that would make sense, because that's how he wants the public to perceive him. So even like you, until you guys get like really super settled down and like intimate and stuff, like this is still kind of what he's trying to show you subconsciously, is that like he knows how to plan things. He knows how to be successful. He knows how to climb the mountain and get to the top. You know what I mean? Like, and he can do it in a very meticulous, thought out, like logical, intellectual way.
Yeah.
So
he's,
that
he's
makes sense.
definitely much. I'm much like we're kind of opposites, and because in a lot of ways, because he has no. The only water I think he has in his chart, or is he has it in his right? I think rising the Pisces. He has
Yeah,
one.
Scorpio. He has Scorpio rising. Yeah.
So in Pisces, is that what you said?
No,
Or
Scorpio.
what was he a
Your
Pisces
rising
in?
sign. Your Pisces. Let me see.
Because he only has one.
Oh, his moon. His moon is Pisces.
Yeah, so it affects his emotions, so he can be like really sensitive. But I think that's like the only water he has in his.
Oh yeah, and let me tell you something else about his moon. He's got the moon in Pisces in the 4th house. So that's actually the moon in the 4th house is a good placement because the 4th house is naturally Cancer's home, and Cancer rules the moon, or the moon rules Cancer, I guess I should say. But so he's going to have, when it comes to his emotions and stuff, they're going to be very private and they're going to be very deep. But like, that's also going to be able to be expressed outwards to the people he loves, but he probably doesn't show his emotions to like almost anybody ever, probably. Like, and if he does, it's because he really values you. But he's gonna know how to be like empathetic and be there for you if you're going through something. Like, he's gonna have that natural ability to be like nurturing and stuff to other people. But trying to get to his emotions, good luck.
Right. I know he has like I think a lot of how you were saying, I think Earth. I think his whole chart's like Earth. So yeah, he's very
grounded.
Yes, he's very practical, planning, you know, worrying about retirement and stuff like that. Stuff that I don't really focus on enough. So it's good for me because I'm water, and I don't know. You have my chart up, right? Or didn't you see it? Or maybe
I've seen it. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna pull it up so I could look at
Oh.
it compared. Like,
No, I
see.
have so much water, and so he's gonna be he's not emotionally. I don't know if I call it. Pisces are supposed to be emotionally mature. I would call it immature, honestly, because we're just so sensitive. But we're gonna. I mean, I think it's a bad thing in my opinion, but
no, it's not. It's not as long, but that's the whole thing, is that you're not going to be very grounded and stuff. You're going to be more in a world of emotions, and especially being a mutable water sign, it's like you're just kind of just flowing wherever your feeling goes that day, you know?
Is that
and
why?
So that's good for you, though, that you would be with somebody who's grounded like that, even though it's difficult to try to get used to. But like, it's still, you know, because I feel the same way with my boyfriend. He's like, so like just the one who's connected to like the 3rd dimension, and I'm really not, you know. I'm like, I could die today and I don't really care, you know what I mean? Like, I'm already in a world of like the metaphysical reality. Like, that's what I prefer. But, you know, so it's hard for me to like try to be ready at a certain time or plan what we're gonna do next week, or like let alone think about retirement, you know. But it's a good thing, though, to have balance, because if you have both people, like if me and you were in a relationship, we would never get anything done. Like, it would be so unproductive because we're both the same way, you know. It's almost like we need somebody to get us motivated to like get our shit together, kind of, you know.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, he tried to try this manage stuff on me, like my last live, like during whatnot, because he resells too, and I really feel like we could do it together because and be, you know, do really well. But like, he was telling me like, oh, what people like and whatnot, and not what they don't like, and I was like, oh, no, we're not, this managed stuff's not gonna work, because he was trying to say, oh, Mark Cuban is the manager of his wife, and he wasn't trying to say he was going to be my manager. He was actually trying to say, like, it's supposed to be just like, you know, work relationship. He's just very work like minded. And but yeah, I can't imagine having my boyfriend though be my manager. That would probably drive me nuts.
Yeah, it would drive me crazy too. You just gotta, like, you know, have boundaries and talk about that kind of stuff, and like just make sure that your boundaries are being respected, and you know, that kind of thing. And that's it.
It makes sense though now that I think about it. Like when we're talking about, because I've wondered like why this one's so different than other relationships I've been in. But now it makes sense because like his whole chart, like there's hardly any water. There's, you know, so there's hardly any emotions. He's going to be very emotionally immature according to like astrologists.
Well, no, because what's important though is that his moon is in a water sign, which controls the emotions. That's actually probably really good for a Capricorn, because Capricorns are like, I don't know, they're emotionless, I think sometimes. Like,
yeah.
Like if it don't have to do with their money, they don't really care about it. But so that's good that he has moon in Pisces in the 4th house. But
like he doesn't even laugh sometimes. You know what I mean? Like it's just sometimes it's like, you know, when I talk to him, I'm like, okay, does this dude think I'm like, I feel like he's thinking I'm like really stupid because I'm so ridiculous and silly sometimes. And sometimes I say things like for shock value, and I kind of like to mess with him a little bit because he's so quiet and so reserved. I feel like, I don't know.
What does he think of that when you do that?
He'll tell me to be quiet and stuff. I'm being too loud.
That's funny.
Yeah, because he'll be like, shh. And at first it doesn't really bother me because I know I can get loud. Like, you know what I mean? Like when sometimes like I don't realize it when I'm in a movie theater and we're just walking and I'm talking so much louder than everybody else. But I don't know. He doesn't really open. That's the thing we talked about today. I'm like, why is it so much different? I don't know. Is your relationship any different in text than it is like through regular communication, face-to-face communication? Do you think you open up more or do you think you guys like relate more emotionally through text or in person? Because
for me, I feel like I'm able to open up more in text messages because I can actually look at what I'm saying, and I can like I can proofread it before I send it. I can make sure that like everything I need to say is in there and it's included, because I have especially emotionally, like if we're talking about intellectual things, I'd so much rather just speak, right? But if it's about my emotions and how I feel about something, I have a really, really hard time articulating that when it's in person. Like I need to write it down and be able to make sure that how I feel is actually being conveyed in the message. Right. Because to me, I'm like, they're feelings. They're not words. Like, can you even describe feelings with words? Like, I don't feel like I fully can, but at least when it's in writing, I can try to get as close as possible.
That's so funny because that's exactly, it's because, but one of my complaints was like to Jason is like, we don't even talk like in person. Okay. I don't know. He's so quiet, you know what I mean? But like, and he doesn't open up in text. He's a little bit more open, I guess. But it's just weird because I don't, I'm like, is he mad? What's going on in that head of yours?
If he was mad or something, he'd probably say it. I would say that for like after looking at his chart, if he's not saying anything, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like there's probably nothing to worry about if he's being quiet. Whereas some people are like normally like extroverted and really talkative and stuff. So if they're being quiet, you know something's up. Like that's his natural state. So it's probably he's just in his head thinking about what he's going to do in the next 5 years. You know, like everything's probably fine between the two of you.
Yeah, he doesn't think of it. Like I brought up some things to him today, and he had no idea. Like he just doesn't. And I think, yeah, what brought up this stuff is is Mystical Mermaid had a live the other day, and she did like kind of a reading on me, and it kind of bothered me because some of the stuff that she was saying, because I'm like, oh no, is this gonna come true? Like, because, and the reason why I was taking it so seriously, and I know it sounds silly, is because she's been so right on so many things in my life that it almost scares me now to go over there and even listen or even get a reading off her, because it's just so accurate, and it kind of almost spoils my real life, because I know what, I don't know. It's so crazy. I've never had somebody be so accurate like that.
Yeah, but that's good though, because like I was telling you earlier, if you have the chance to think about something like before you're actually in the moment and it's happening, that gives you more control and more choice, like consciously, when you can see it developing and you can choose like, okay, yeah, this is the path I want to go down, or no, maybe I should make a different choice this time instead of just falling back into my like typical subconscious behaviors that I've always done.
Yeah, it really screwed with me, that live with her. Really, like, I was up, Jason left at like 6 a.m. to go to work, and I was like awake, just, I mean, and he could tell something was wrong, I think, because he texted me and he could just tell. And
did you talk to him about it?
Yeah, and text, but it feels weird talking like that through text, because it almost seems so. I tell him like I wish like we could talk more like normal, like on the either like on the phone or in person, because we never talk on the phone either. But we're both like weird about talking on the phone.
What about like voice messages through texting?
I do that, and he tried, but I don't know. I don't know if he would stick to it. I'm listing product while I'm like talking to you. I'm taking pictures of these. I don't know if he would stick to it. I mean, he would try. He definitely would try. He doesn't realize this stuff. Like when I tell him things, like stuff that's been bothering me, he honestly just does not. When Mystical Mermaid said he's like up in the clouds, I was like, oh my gosh, you're so right. And she's like, I don't mean that in a bad way, like really. But yeah, he's just like, I don't know.
Actually, I feel like it's more the opposite. I feel like he's not, like he's too firmly planted on the ground, probably. Like, not that it's a bad thing, but just in comparison to you.
Well, I guess I should say up in the clouds. What I mean by up in the clouds, because that's a good point, because he is very grounded. But I guess I mean, he's just unaware. Like he doesn't realize like some of these things. Like he doesn't realize that he like ignores me. You know what I mean? Really.
He's oblivious. He's oblivious to what he's doing that's bothering you.
Yeah, he honestly just doesn't. He doesn't notice it at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes him feel bad when I bring it up to him, and I've only brought it up. Well, really, I guess this one time. The couple times I have brought up things to him, yeah, it makes him feel bad, and he does try to. But what bugs me about that though is like I I don't like having to tell the person I'm with, like, oh, I don't know. I think this stuff should come naturally. So then it really bugs me. Like, I don't like trying to change somebody.
Well, it's not changing someone. It's just like letting them know what you might prefer. And like the way that I look at it is like, I mean, you might have to be the one to compromise in that kind of situation, because if it's something that's not natural for him, it might be hard to get him to do that. I think what's a lot easier is to try to tell somebody like, hey, I need you to stop doing this because, it's violating like my personal space or my, whatever, in one way or another. Like, it's easier to, when you're making those compromises, to know who should compromise. It's like, okay, well, probably the person who needs to stop doing something, it would be easier for them to compromise in that situation than the person that you're trying to like elicit some kind of behavior from, because it just doesn't come naturally to them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I guess it's all about, to me it's all about if the person is, like, if they're willing to, if they even care or even willing to try to change, help fix it. That shows a lot when a person is, willing to or wants to try to make it, better or whatever. So
yeah. Well, I'll give you an example, right? So like my boyfriend, he wants to know that I'm safe all the time if I'm not with him and stuff. So like if he had it his way, I would let him know like an entire play-by-play of like what I'm doing all day. Like, oh, hey babe, just woke up. Hey, I'm taking Damien to school. Hey, just got home. Hey, this and that, and it's like, for me, that's like, I'm already always like rushing everywhere I go, and it takes time to like get the phone out and send that text message. So it's like I've had to tell him like, look, I could try to do that sometimes, like mostly throughout the day when I'm thinking about it, but I can't tell you every time I move. You know what I mean? Because it's just too much. Like I don't operate that way, but I try. So I've and he's noticed that I will make an effort, like especially if I just left him, or if like, it's something like when I get home from work or something where he would expect me to be like routinely at somewhere at a certain time, just to let him know like, hey babe, I'm home, I'm okay, everything's good,
Yeah.
But it's still not perfect. Like I don't do it all the time that he would want me to. Like
I noticed that me and him do. I like that. Like, I don't know. I just text like him just random like thoughts. You know what I mean? I don't. That's just how I guess I have always been with like the person I'm with. I just will randomly text like stuff. Like I understand like some people are not so much like that,
Yeah.
but I think that as your relationship progresses, most people most couples text each other just like random things throughout the day.
Yeah,
And
Shiva mom, it's not well, he's not being controlling. I had an ex-boyfriend who was like controlling about it. Like he doesn't try to put limitations on me or tell me what I can and can't do. He's just like, if he just wants to know I'm safe. He had a friend of his years ago passed away, and he was like, why didn't he call me and let me know, like, that he needed something or that he was in trouble, or like I can't remember exactly how the situation happened, but now it worries him about people, like everybody in his life, when they're not there, so that's kind of like what he's told me. He's like, he doesn't ever try to tell me that I can't do something or cause a problem. It's just like he wants to know that I'm safe, like legitimately.
Right.
He's actually a good guy and doesn't have like bad intentions.
I can see what Shiva mom's saying too, because
yeah,
there is some guys like that they try to act like, oh, I'm just trying to look out for you, I'm just trying to make
but
sure
really they're keeping tabs.
Yeah.
I was with someone like that. It's totally different dynamic. But
And I did want to say something about Renee's comment, because that's exactly what I said to him, actually, because I said, she says, I try to appreciate who people are exactly how they are. If he isn't intentionally hurting you, then you are asking him not to be his authentic self, in my opinion. Yeah, I actually didn't ask him, but that's exactly what I said to him when he said that he would try to change these things, and I was like, well, I don't want you to change who you are. You know, that made me feel weird. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, I like you. I like who you are, obviously. Okay. I'm just trying to understand you better.
Mhm.
It did make me feel like I was, when he said that, it made me like feel a little bit uncomfortable. Like it wasn't right, because the way he said, oh, I'll try to change that. You know, when he was talking about, when I was saying like, he's so quiet, and he's like, I'll try to change that. And it's like, it made me feel bad. I'm like, no, don't change who you are. I just need to make sure that I just want to know. I need to like work on that. If it bothers I just wanted to know if I need to take it anyway, or is that just like, you know what I mean? He doesn't think anything of it, and that's all I need to know. And
Yeah,
it's
I would
something
say in
I
that
have to work on.
situation, yeah, exactly. That's something that you need to get comfortable with, the silence between you, and know that everything's okay.
Yeah, so it doesn't mean he has to change. Like, I just need to understand. I probably will have to change, because I don't want to change somebody. I don't like that. I don't, especially when you're not going to change somebody when you're dating somebody in your early 40s or whatever, who's already been married before, or has already had, lived a lot of life. You're not going to change that person. It's not like, you might be able to if you get like a young guy, you could kind of like train them.
Train them?
Because they're like, yeah, kind of train them a little bit.
Yeah, but that's no fun either.
Some guys like it.
I mean, as long as everybody's aware of what's going on and they're consensual, I guess I can't say anything. But to me, like, if I have to train someone, it's like, I don't know.
Well, I don't know about train. I don't know if training's the right word. Because it's not something like you actually just, like, you're actually doing, like, that you, I don't consciously doing. I think it's something that just over time you kind of like, if you are dating somebody, if you're a young couple, a lot of times, yeah, like your partner can kind of change who you are. You'll start mirroring them.
Well, yeah, but it should be like a thing that happens between both parties, though.
Yeah, it's
like where you kind of just merge together as one. Like if one person is like totally changing and then the other person is still the same asshole they've always been, then that's not fair.
Yeah, it comes naturally. Exactly. That's why I don't even like bringing up I just got had kind of like a weird day. I don't even like to talk to him about the negative things and stuff, especially at the beginning of the day when he has work.
Oh yeah, don't do it before work.
Yeah, and no, because that does make me feel really bad. And this morning it did happen at the beginning of his work, because that's just, I try to say like, hey, like, I don't, it bugs him, like, if I don't tell him. So and it's like, and sometimes like when he asks me, is everything okay, I can't lie. Like, I can't say yes, everything's okay, or because if I say, well, no, I kind of have some stuff on my mind, but I'll talk to you about it after work, he'll freaking sit there and like it will bug him, and he'll, you know, pretty much have me tell him. So,
Well, I mean, that's something that he should also be aware of, though, and be like accepting of the fact that you're like, I'll talk to you about it later, you know? As long as, like, my question would be, because if it was me and I was at work and I'd be like, okay, perfect, talk to you when I'm home from work. You know what I mean? Because I don't like being bothered with serious stuff when I'm at work. But so I would just be like, my only concern if it were me is I would be like, it has nothing to do with me, right? Or does it? Like, are we having a problem? Because if we are, you shouldn't have even mentioned it. But if it has nothing to do with me, then yes, we will talk when I get home, and that's fine. You know, otherwise you should have kept your mouth shut until I actually got home, and we could have the conversation.
What was I supposed to say though when he asked me, like, is everything okay?
Yeah.
Should I have lied?
I mean, it's not really a lie necessarily. Like, you're alive, everything's okay, right? Like, I mean, to a certain extent, like, okay is kind of, you know, a relative word. So you don't have to look at it like you're lying. It's just like, you'll survive for now. But then, you know, when he gets home from work, then you could just like, if it has to do with him, then yeah, you could talk to him about it at that point. But
yeah.
Because if something was bothering Chris and it had to do with me, yeah, I would want to know right then. But I would also be irritated with him for bringing it up while I'm at work at the same time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And I knew that I would be too. And so that's why, you know, I felt bad, because I know that I don't want to do that to him at the beginning of his workday, because I know how that like can just like that just makes for a bad day starting out like that, you know? So yeah, it's something I definitely want to try to avoid. But yeah, some people it just like, and I guess it might be, I don't know if it's like that with Capricorn women too, or I don't know if that's a Capricorn thing, or if it's
what is, I'm sorry, I missed what you just
said. It's like that whole, like, if Capricorns are just not, is it Capricorn thing not to be like so aware of your own?
I think it's his Scorpio rising. Because he's gonna be totally okay with being like introverted, like in his own world, and sometimes that could probably make him unaware of like what effects that might have on other people, or like what their needs might be, because he's totally gonna be fine by himself, you know, like the darkness isn't going to scare him, I guess, like metaphorically speaking. So he's not aware that like other people might need that that conversation or that affection or whatever. Like, it's something you might just have to simply remind him of, you know?
But see, that makes me feel weird, because it's like, what, then it feels like fake, that I don't know, that I'm telling him to be more of something. I don't know.
Well, you don't have to tell him like, hey, talk to me or something, but like, you might just have to be the one that has to initiate the conversation or whatever, you know? Like little subtle ways of like getting more of the results that you want, but at the same time, not making him feel bad for who he is.
Renee says it's a male thing. Really?
Oh no, if we could talk about our feelings all day, like if that was something I was interested in, Chris would totally do that. We would just talk about how we feel, and that's all we would ever talk about. I swear to God. Like, I'm like, can we not have this conversation and
is
say
he
that
a water
we did?
sign, or what's his sign?
He's a Gemini. And then he's got an Aries moon and he's a Taurus rising. But Yeah, he just wants to like communicate just all the time about how do we feel about this and how do we feel about that and what about this thing. And I'm just like, is it really that serious, bro? Like, I have to look at him sometimes and be like, I'm done talking about my feelings now. And he'll be like, okay.
What type of, is it Gemini and air sign? Or what?
Yeah, they're air. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so you got Aries, air, right? Is that
fire?
Air? Aries is fire?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but he has a lot of air in his, that's probably why, because he's.
Yeah, he's got that Mercury is Gemini. So, yeah, his whole communication thing is like he wants to intellectualize his feelings and everything. Like he thinks that we should, like, everything would just be solved in the world if people would just come together and sit down and talk about things. And I'm just like,
probably
no.
like, he's probably a likable guy if he's a Gemini.
Yeah.
And probably also will never have to worry about, like, he'll probably always be able to make money. But like,
oh yeah, he's a hard worker. Yeah, he's interesting. Like he's, you know, he's fun. Yeah, I mean, like we have a good time when we go out together and stuff. Like it's everything when it comes to like that whole dynamic comes very naturally. But when it comes to like getting serious about stuff, like I feel like he's he's totally comfortable with expressing his emotions and all that, and I'm just not. Like I don't even know how I feel half the time. Like I know I feel it and I know that it's deep, but I don't know what the words are to explain it to another person, and he just does not understand that because
like that too. I didn't know
he wants to put words to everything, and I'm just like, okay, I'm done talking now. Can we do something else? And he's like, okay, but luckily he's a Gemini, so he can move from one thing to another really quickly.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, so I'll just be like, I'm done talking about this now. And he's like, okay, so anyways, you know, and he's just like, let's move on.
That's what, yeah. I think that is a good thing about them. They can move on pretty fast from an argument. Sorry, I'm eating gummy bears.
That's okay. I was just eating my dinner. I made dinner earlier and gave it to Damien and everything, but I didn't even eat mine yet until just right now. I just finished.
Well, yeah, I mean, dating is definitely, especially the first like year, I don't know.
Well, you're just getting to know each other, you know, and trying to figure out like what's the best way to make this work where everybody has a reasonable amount of satisfaction from the experience, you know?
It's so yeah, so much unknown, and so that's kind of scary. And when you're in a long-term relationship, you know, like it's just comfortable and you know what to expect every day.
Yeah, but that's not always healthy though, especially like if one person like that. Okay, so the thing that I'm trying to learn is how to assert my own boundaries. Like there's certain things that should be completely like non-negotiables, and I need to have a backbone and be like, okay, no, this is not acceptable to me, and I'm not going to be happy if this is the way that things are in the future, like indefinitely, you know, because I can get very like passive and just agreeable. Like I'd rather just not have the conflict. And it's like, that's not healthy though, if something really does bother me internally. So like, I'm trying to learn my own like assertiveness and just being like, okay, these are my boundaries and they need to be respected all the time, every time. And that's it, you know? And then if there's something that the other person has, like, that's the same way, then okay, so then that takes work from me to have to respect those boundaries, you know? Like, I think that if you can establish like a good firm foundation where everybody's boundaries are being respected, I think everything else can be like easily put into play, you know, over time. But
as long as the boundaries are like reasonable.
Yeah.
And I'm like you. I'd rather avoid conflict most of the time. And so, but what happens with that is that I can do that for a while, but then it catches up and then kind of like
you get resentful.
Yes, and then I get mad out of nowhere, and it's like, where is this all coming from? You know what I mean? Because usually I might try to be like, I'm like the cool girlfriend. Oh, it's cool. It's not a big deal or whatever. And I do feel that way, and I probably feel that way about. It's not that I'm lying. It's just in that moment I might say it's whatever or whatever, just to try to agree to disagree. It doesn't.
Well, it's not that it's whatever. It's just it's whatever that it's not worth the fight right now.
Yeah, but yeah, sometimes I just don't feel like dealing with it, but after so many times, like it could be just like having a bad day. I don't know. And it might just really piss me off that day.
Yeah, and then you're just like, what were you doing in the bathroom so long, or something like stupid, like.
No, I mean, or what? Yeah, no, I just like feel so. I don't know, and actually, I can't say he makes me too, because that's another weird thing. You can't say somebody else makes you do anything.
Oh no, my therapist. I had a therapist at one point that when I was going through all the custody stuff with my son's dad. And I told her one day, I said, he makes me so mad. And she looked at me and she was like, no, he didn't make you mad. You made you mad. And I was like, oh, how dare you say that to me? Like, no, it was him. It was his fault. And she was like, no, because you could have responded in, A, B, or C different ways, but you chose to let it get to you. And that's why you did what you did. But you still had that choice and that control. And she's like looking at me, and I was so serious. Like, she just had me totally stunned by telling me that, and I was like, so I could have but how do I not allow him to get me that angry? And she's like, that's something you just have to work on within yourself. But once you do that, how empowering is that to know that you have a choice, that somebody else doesn't control your emotions? And I was just like, wow, that really has stuck with me over all these years. Like, that's crazy, but it's true.
Yeah, because the only thing that we can change is ourselves too. Like, we can't change anybody else, or and we can only count on ourselves. So,
and expectations of other people will always lead to disappointment. You're just setting them up for failure, and you're going to be disappointed because they're not going to live up to your expectations. Never.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, and he sometimes will say, sorry I make you feel that way, or sorry. It's like, honestly, and that makes me feel bad too, because I don't feel like it's not him making me feel that way.
Yeah, exactly. It's you feeling that way because of your experience. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And some things, like, we have to learn as adults, that we have to change ourselves. Like, it's ourselves. Like, we can't expect people to change. If you want to be with somebody, then it's about, like, you really have to practice acceptance, and you also have to be willing to change yourself. But both people have to be willing to that, and both seem to be trying to put the effort in. But if something bothers you about somebody, you either have to accept it, or you have to, like, move on. You know what I mean? because you can't,
Yeah.
you can mention it to them and you can hope that they might want to do something about it or whatever, but.
Well, I also think that a more effective way to like communicate things to people is like for me with Chris, I'll be like, look, I have certain things that trigger me and this is what they are. And I'm aware that when you do that, it has nothing to do with you, but it gives me anxiety, you know, just because I've experienced that type of situation before. And I need you to help me work through that by being understanding when that happens and potentially trying to help minimize that so that like we can work through that kind of stuff, but without me having so much anxiety. So sometimes like if you just bring something to somebody's awareness, like, and just let them know like, hey, I know that this has nothing to do with you and it's from my past and whatever, then they're more likely to be like aware of that and be cautious when, you know, they might be about to behave in like that specific kind of way that's gonna bother you, you know?
Yeah, you have to also, and what the thing that sucks about you know, having your communication, like mainly because we only see each other probably twice a week, you know, and so most of our communication is through text, and there's always so much miscommunication in text, and I you know,
Yeah,
I
because
hate
you're
that.
missing the tone of voice.
Yes, because like I would never. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, and it causes so many misunderstandings, and it's frustrating. But we still continue to do text, and we don't talk because both of us. I mean, I don't honestly like. I like to be alone. I like to be alone too, and I also don't really like to talk on the phone much. So, you know, I'm not. Sometimes, you know, I don't even want to be around him every day. I don't want to be around anybody every day. But
I know, me neither. I'm like, I need my space.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's just a whole learning process of learning somebody new and whatever. It can be scary for sure. Perfect way to communicate baggage that affects the relationship but isn't anything the other person is doing. Leos are superstars. Leos are awesome. I've always noticed that Leos are cool people. Well, as far as like women Leos, I don't know.
I get along with other Leos. That's the crazy part too, because everybody says that we're so like egotistical and this and that, but it's like when I think for me when I find out that someone else is a Leo, I'm like, that's right, king, that's right, queen. You know what I mean? Like I allow them the space to like shine in their own way too. Like I don't ever feel like they're trying to take my light or anything. You know, it's like we're all royalty here, you know.
Well,
like
hey,
I feel like there's some mutual respect.
That is true.
Funny.
A lion is like royalty, you know.
Yeah, it was so funny because on my birthday, like to celebrate my birthday, Chris took us to the beach and we went inside of this store that had like all of these like spiritual books. Like there was a giant Buddha in the center of the store, and there was like just all these different like esoteric occult books and tarot cards and like all this, you know, astrology stuff and whatever. Mm-hmm. But it was like everything Zodiac that they had, they were missing the Leo one. And we were like, why is it like, we were asking the guy at the counter, like, you guys don't have any more Leo stuff? Like, what's going on with that? And he's like, no, it's just a really popular, you know, they get sold out really quick. And I was just like, oh, okay, that makes sense, you know. And he goes, that's the funny thing about Leos is you guys always seem to understand that, like without getting mad or anything. It's just like, oh yeah, that makes sense, like that's fine. And whereas he said like some of the other people will be like upset or whatever that their sign wasn't there and stuff, but we're just like, yeah, we're popular, that makes sense, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
I mean, well, they're the lion. You know, you always the Lion King, or you always see like lions on in royalty type like paintings or in castles. Yeah, they're royalty.
Well, and
who's Mike
also
Talk
because our birthdays are like right in the center of summer. So the sun is Leo's ruling planet. So everything revolves around the sun. I think that's where they get the whole like, you know, Leos are self-centered and stuff like metaphors and everything from, because like we're ruled by the sun, so we're like the center of our universe, you know. But we're also very generous and like to shine that light outward to everybody around us as well, if they will allow us to, you know.
and courageous, I would guess, right? Because you're
Sometimes
a lion.
we try. I think that Leos deep down have like certain insecurities, but like we would never want to show that to people.
Yeah, that makes sense. Who's do you know who Mike Talk Show is?
I think I might.
Okay,
I think he comes from Salty Pancakes channel.
Okay, yeah, I feel like they knew you, and I was just let's see. Trying to think what else risk takers. Oh, are you saying a Leo is a risk taker? And having 9
Yeah.
lives?
Oh,
I
yeah,
guess
it is just Mike. Yeah, I know who that is.
Too. I mean, a lion is a cat, so 9 lives. That makes they would probably be very family oriented. Right?
Oh yeah,
Or,
like Leo rules the 5th house naturally, which is the house of like children, creativity, fun, play. You know, that's why they say that like Leos would be good actors, or you know, like anything in the spotlight, like where they can just be totally creative and praised for it publicly and stuff. And then yeah, like it's also the house of children, so like we have a very like childlike essence that we don't want to take life too seriously. Like, you know, like life should be full of fun and like, you know, nice things and having a good time and sharing with the people that you love and stuff like that.
he said we are snugglers and cuddlers in bed.
I don't know about all that, but then again, I am a Scorpio rising, so I'm always told that I'm not very affectionate. I don't know. I'm like, yeah, I am. Like, I mean, I don't know why you need to hold my hand while we're watching TV on the couch. Like, but like, I'm gonna see you. Like I'm right here. Like, I'm gonna see you in 5 minutes. Like, I'm still gonna be here. Why do we need to be like on top of each other? But so yeah,
funny.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about the cuddle thing if that
like, applies
to me, but
it's funny. I laugh because that's me. Like I'm like so which I'm not usually really, I don't think an affectionate person, but I guess it matters who I'm with. Something about he's so passive that it's just, I don't know. It's so weird. It's kind of funny in a way because it almost comes off like shy. So I kind of like screwing with him a little bit, but I don't know. It's weird to like feel like I'm like dominating him or something.
he's probably just fine being alone together, you know, like that's how I feel about
That's
life.
what he
I'm
said.
like,
That's what he says.
yeah.
And he does say like, oh, we don't have to be around each other all the time. It's like, dude, don't even. I see you probably twice a week. Like I don't know. Sometimes I feel like we would never see each other if it wasn't for me. And because that's what I say to him sometimes, and he gets mad.
Oh my God. Chris says the same thing to me. That's
Yeah.
He'll be like, I just feel like I have to, because if I don't, then you won't. And I'm like, you don't give me the opportunity to initiate with you because you're always taking charge of that.
It's weird because, yeah, I've never had, okay, it's so strange. And I'm not saying, like, it's like all bad, because it's not, but it's just like so different for me to be with somebody where I'm used to I don't know. It's just so opposite of anything I've ever been, or anything I've ever, like, in, like, no other relationship really.
I feel the same way, but opposite. Like, usually I'm the more dominant one, but now I'm with somebody who likes to take charge, and it's like, it's different. It's hard to get used to because I'm usually the one like making the rules and like all the decisions and everything. And it's like
decisions. That's the thing that sucks though about it. It's like I'm so bad at making decisions. So I kind of in a way need to be like, I need somebody to do that. And it's in a way like I kind of take charge and do everything. Like,
well, he's good at planning and strategy and stuff, right? So that's where you guys could probably work really well together, where like you could determine like, okay, this day I want to do like this activity, and then he could be like, okay, and like plan all the details, and you guys could work together in that way.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, if he would, he is a planner, but I don't know if he's like, I've never seen him really plan much details. Like, I have to do all that stuff too. It seems like.
No, tell him that he's better at that than you are, so that's his job. Like, dictate the responsibility over to him.
I mean, it's true, right? Because
he would probably like that. All that Virgo energy. Virgos are people pleasers. Like, he would probably love for you to tell him, like, look, you need to plan out all the details because you're better at that than I am. Like, that's where you shine in life, bro. And he'd probably be like, you know what? You're right. It probably would be better if I planned that. He would probably appreciate you telling him to do that. You know?
I don't know. I mean, we'd be better off with him making the decisions. I know that. And probably better financial decisions too with him, I'm sure. But
oh yeah, I spend money like it's burning a hole in my pocket, so I know what you mean on that. Like, I need somebody else to determine what our money is doing, because I'll worry about that later, and that's not always a good thing.
So you feel like you're usually the more dominant in your relationship?
Yeah.
Really? I have never ever been in a relationship where I felt, well, actually I can't say that. Okay, like, one guy I was with 7 years, I guess I kind of felt like I was a little bit of, but he took care of me still. Like, I've always had guys like take care of me, really, it seems like, and always be but usually
I always date losers. I finally got a real man for once, but I usually date losers. I don't know.
No, but I don't know. It is strange. Like, it's just weird to me to be, because I'm usually so quiet as it is. So,
you're quiet when?
I mean, when I'm not on YouTube, I can't talk 24/7. I mean, I feel like I like being alone and quiet a lot of times, and I don't like being talked to.
Yeah.
Because I maybe it's because I talk so much on here or whatever, but sometimes I just, I want to be left alone. I don't want people to ask me stupid questions. Like,
Oh yeah, that's the worst. And you're just looking at them like, really?
yeah, it's like Google it.
Yeah.
But good night, Lana. I think I am probably gonna get off here too. I mean, I guess we've been on here for 2 hours. I have that sale tomorrow, guys. You guys should all like come by. I guess I could leave the link in the. I put it on my community tab. I am going to be listing some beauty products.
Can I put my link to my channel in the chat, Ziggy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Anyone
that...
wants to subscribe? I'm at like almost 800 subs.
So you're focusing back on your channel again?
Yeah, I think because I've been trying to figure out like what kind of theme do I want to do, because like I kind of want to talk about all different stuff. But I was thinking if I do like some kind of theme like bringing like darkness to light, I could talk about anything. I could talk about occult topics. I could talk about when people are doing like shady stuff, like bringing that to the light. I could talk about true crime. I could talk about like whatever I want.
Yeah. Don't get yourself like cornered into like a little tiny box. Yeah, I did that kind of with the true crime thing. Well, I put true crama, and so I was like, well, if I put crama, then that means like I could put like talk about other things that are kind of like but that's why I ended up changing mine to true crime. Was it discussion, talk and discussion or something? I don't know. I changed it so that I could incorporate other types of subjects, because like, I don't know, a lot of times I talk about things that have nothing to do with true crime.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to be able to talk about different psychology things, like different, just like stuff that could help people like heal themselves or others, or like just, whatever. Like, I want it to be kind of open, but like still have some kind of point and be like not so random. So I was like, if it was some kind of like illumination type, like deal, you know what I mean? Like, then I could cover all that I'm interested in, and it could still have like some kind of centeredness to it.
If I would have known that, if I knew that I didn't think you were really putting any thought into your channel anymore, or I would have, for some reason I was thinking you weren't really going live or doing anything. Otherwise I would have been asked you if you want to share your channel. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, I did a live like a couple weeks ago. I just need to get some kind of schedule where I have like a time that I do it all the time, like maybe once a week or something. That's what I'm kind of trying to like watch and figure out right now, is like what everybody else's schedules seem to be, so that I can like find a spot that's going to be like really good for the people that I know are sub to me, where they're not going to have to choose between like me and something else. You know what I mean? Like, I need to get that perfect time where it's like nothing else is really going on. Like, I feel like that's a huge key also.
Yeah, I know. And I tried to do that same thing when I first started, but after a while you just can't. It's hard to.
Well, you were going live all the time too. I don't want to go live like all the time, because I do have like 2 other jobs. You know what I mean? So like,
I used to. Now I've been really trying to focus on sticking at like 2 to 3 hours. It's been it's been a while since I've really pulled an 8-hour. I mean, not that long. It's probably been within the last, I don't know, a month ago, or within the last month. I think I pulled an 8-hour, but I don't do it like I used to. That used to be the regular. But yeah, everybody subbed to Danny's. I just pulled up her channel myself to make sure I'm subscribed. I'm going to subscribe from both of my channels and my backup right now, so that because you're at the stage where it's every subscriber definitely counts. Just to get you to.
Thank you.
Yeah, you only need man, we should be able to get you to 1,000, and like, that's what I'm gonna do. I'll try to work on getting you to 1,000, like, because you're only like, are you?
Yeah, and I'm like over halfway on my watch hours too. My watch hours are pretty high for the little amount of content that I have. I'm at like 2,000, like 2,100 watch hours or something. So I'm like a little over halfway there.
I just subbed up on both on this account and my Getting Ziggy with It account. So try to sub for her on your backups and stuff, because she's so close to getting to 1,000 that every one of those
I would appreciate it.
really count. Yeah, I'll work on that, because you should be able to get that in no time, like within a week, like easily.
Yeah, I went on Jim Terry's and Salty Pancakes a couple weeks ago and did some interviews with Jim Terry, and it was like my subs went up like 300 in like 2 days.
Yeah. He's scared. I would be afraid, like, was he nice to you, or was he fucking with you?
Who, Jim?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm all, girl, you gotta watch it. Like, no, he's very abrasive with me and messes with me like he does to everybody, but I know he's just roasting me. And like, I thought compared to like what he could have been, considering the topic we were talking about, like he was really nice to me.
Yeah.
Like he could have so given me like a way harder time. But when I talked to him like privately to get like the StreamYard link and everything the morning that I had gone on his show, he was really respectful. And, you know, so like, I know that that's just a character that he does to entertain people. And that's cool with me. Like, I'll totally play along, you know? You have to have like kind of a thick skin to deal with him, because he tends, from what I see, to hurt people's feelings a lot. But at the same time, like, I just don't take the stuff personally, you know? Like, I know he's just doing it to be funny, so it doesn't really bother me. But
yeah, I know some people let that kind of stuff. I don't know. Like, I guess I don't know. If he's just saying silly things, then that stuff doesn't bother me. But I haven't really watched much of his videos and stuff. But people say like he's an asshole, so I have no idea.
Yeah, those are just people that are really sensitive.
You've been subbed up to Danny L since the Doug Gate.
Yeah. That guy.
Yeah, I forgot about him. All right, guys. I guess I'm going to get off here. Thank you so much for coming up and talking to me for a couple hours.
No problem. Anytime.
All right. Good night, guys. I'll come to my cell tomorrow night. I'll try.
What time is it again?
Well, it's evening. I had it set for 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. So
3:30 for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty.
But I wouldn't be surprised if I start, you know, if it's like
4:30 or 5.
Yeah,
my time.
If it change, you know, another 30 minutes or an hour, but it will be around, you know, your time, Pacific, 3:30, 4:30 Pacific time.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Talk to you later.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.